April is the cruelest month, breeding lilacs out of the dead land, mixing memory and desire, stirring dull roots with spring rain. Winter kept us warm, covering earth in forgetful snow, feeding a little life with dried tubers. I will show you fear in a handful of dust. Come in under the shadow of this red rock, and I will show you something different from either your shadow at morning, striding behind you, or your shadow at evening, rising to meet you. Madame Sosostris, famous clairvoyant, had a bad cold, nevertheless is known to be the wisest woman in Europe, with a wicked pack of cards. Here, she said, is your card, the drowned Phoenician sailor. Those are pearls that were his eyes. Look. I do not find the hanged man. Fear death by water. Thank you. If you see dear Mrs. Equitone, tell her I bring the horoscope myself. One must be so careful these days. Unreal city. Under the brown fog of a winter dawn, a crowd flowed over London Bridge. So many. I had not thought death had undone so many. Sighs, short and infrequent, were exhaled, and each man fixed his eyes before his feet, flowed up the hill and down King William Street, to where St. Mary Woolnoth kept the hours, with the dead sound on the final stroke of 9. There I saw one I knew, and stopped him, crying, "Stetson, you who were with me in the ships at Mylae, that corpse you planted last year in your garden, has it begun to sprout? Will it bloom this year?" "My nerves are bad tonight. Yes, bad. Stay with me. Speak to me. Why do you never speak? Speak. What are you thinking of? What thinking? What? I never know what you are thinking. Think." "I think we are in Rat's Alley, where the dead men lost their bones." "What is that noise?" "The wind under the door." "What is that noise now? What is the wind doing?" "Nothing. Again, nothing." "Do you know nothing? Do you see nothing? Do you remember nothing?" "I remember those are pearls that were his eyes." "Are you alive or not? Is there nothing in your head? But, oh, 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 that Shakespearean rag, it's so elegant, so intelligent." When Lil's husband got demobbed, I didn't mince my words, I said to her myself, "Hurry up, please, it's time. Now Albert's coming back, make yourself a bit smart, he'll want to know what you've done with that money he gave you, to get yourself some teeth." "He did, I was there." "You have 'em all out, Lil, and get a nice set," he said. "I swear, I can't bear to look at you." "Hurry up, please, it's time." "Well, if Albert won't leave you alone, there it is," I said. "What do you get married for if you don't want children?" "Hurry up, please, it's time." "Hurry up, please, it's time." Sweet Thames, run softly till I end my song. Sweet Thames, run softly, for I speak not loud or long. But at my back in a cold blast I hear the rattle of the bones, and chuckle spread from ear to ear. A rat crept softly through the vegetation, dragging its slimy belly on the bank, while I was fishing in the dull canal on a winter evening round behind the gas-house, musing upon the king my brother's wreck, and on the king my father's death before him. But at my back from time to time I hear the sound of horns and motors, which shall bring Sweeney to Mrs. Porter in the spring. Oh, the moon shone bright on Mrs. Porter and on her daughter. They washed their feet in soda water. Good night, Bill. Good night, Lou. Good night, May. Good night. Ta-ta. Good night. Good night. Good night, ladies. Good night, sweet ladies. Good night. Good night. Twit, twit, twit. Jug, 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 jug. So rudely forced. Teru. Mr. Eugenides, the Smyrna merchant, unshaven, with a pocketful of currants, CIF London, documents at sight, asked me in demotic French to luncheon at the Cannon Street Hotel, followed by a weekend at the Metropole. At the violet hour, when the eyes and back turn upward from the desk, when the human engine waits like a taxi, throbbing, waiting, I, Tiresias, though blind, throbbing between two lives, old man with wrinkled female breasts, can see at the violet hour, the evening hour that strives homeward and brings the sailor home from sea, the typist home at tea-time, clears her breakfast, lights her stove, and lays out food in tins. Out of the window, perilously spread, her drying combinations touched by the sun's last rays. On the divan are piled at night her bed, stockings, slippers, camisoles, and stays. I, Tiresias, old man with wrinkled dugs, perceived the scene and foretold the rest. I too awaited the expected guest. Flushed and decided, he assaults at once. Exploring hands encounter no defence. His vanity requires no response, and makes a welcome of indifference. She turns and looks a moment in the glass, hardly aware of her departed lover. Her brain allows one half-formed thought to pass. Well, now that's done, and I'm glad it's over. When lovely woman stoops to folly and paces about her room again alone, she smooths her hair with automatic hand, and puts a record on the gramophone, and puts a record on the gramophone, and puts a record on the gramophone. This music crept by me upon the waters, where the walls of Magnus Martyr hold inexplicable splendour of Ionian white and gold. Wae la la lea, wa la la lea la la. Highbury bore me, Richmond and Kew undid me. By Richmond I raised my knees, supine on the floor of a narrow canoe. On Margate sands I can connect nothing with nothing, the broken fingernails of dirty hands. To Carthage then I came, burning, 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 burning. O Lord, thou pluckest me out, O Lord, thou pluckest, burning. Phlebas the Phoenician, a fortnight dead, forgot the cry of gulls and the deep sea swell and the profit and loss. A current under sea pickled his bones in whispers. As he rose and fell, he passed the stages of his age and youth, entering the whirlpool. He who was living is now dead. We who were living are now dying, with a little patience. Dead mountain mouth of carious teeth that cannot spit. Here one can neither stand, nor lie, nor sit. There is not even silence in the mountains, but dry, sterile thunder without rain. There is not even solitude in the mountains, but red, sullen faces sneer and snarl from doors of mud-cracked houses. If there were water and no rock, if there were rock and also water, and water, a spring, a pool among the rock, if there were the sound of water only, not the cicada and dry grass singing, but sound of water over a rock, drip, drop, drip, drop, 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 drop. But there is no water. What is that sound high in the air, murmur of maternal lamentation? Who are those hooded hordes swarming over endless plains, stumbling in cracked earth, ringed by the flat horizon? Dayadvam. I have heard the key turn in the door once, and turn once only. We think of the key, each in his prison, thinking of the key. Each confirms a prison only at nightfall. Ethereal rumours revive for a moment a broken Coriolanus. London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. Le prince d'Aquitaine à la tour abolie. These fragments I have shored against my ruins. Why then I'll fit you, Hieronymo's mad again. Data, Dayadvam, Damyata. Shanti, shanti, shanti.